Okay, today is July 31st, 2019, and right now at 9:15 p.m., we have a temperature of 71 degrees here in the foothills of Los Angeles. The relative humidity is 60%, the dew point is 56 degrees, and the barometer is up at 29.95 inches. All right, so right now we're taking a look at the water vapor map here for the Hawaiian Islands, and we can see that Hurricane Erick is moving closer to the big island and all the islands. And so there it is. We can see also the blast pattern activity going on. The satellite transmitter is superheating this storm. We can see the tremendous superheating action right here on the north side of that storm. We see the icicle pattern, the blast pattern from the superheated water vapor expanding out radially from that storm system. And so this causes a rapidly expanding wall of water vapor, and this causes this pattern that we're seeing right here. So the storm, if we take a quick look here at the National Hurricane Center map, Erick has diminished from Category 4 status last night. It had 130 mile per hour sustained winds last night, about 24 hours ago. Now we're seeing that it's diminished quite a bit down to 105 mile per hour winds, and so that is a result of the satellite transmitter activity superheating that storm and disrupting the convective process, which weakens the machinery of the hurricane itself. And so we are seeing here now, we've got a central pressure of 967 millibar, and it's moving due west at 14 miles per hour. Now, let's look at the ocean temperature, the surface ocean temperature chart here for this area, and we can see that the water temperatures right around the islands are very favorable for a hurricane to sustain itself. Like for instance, right here we have the islands, and Erick has been just moving along generally in a westerly west northwest direction through these 27 and 28 degree Celsius waters, which is anywhere from 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit. So right along here, we shouldn't be seeing any diminishment if Mother Nature has her way. These are warm waters, and we can see that this is all pretty much the same throughout, right around 80 to 82 degrees. So let's go take a look at the next temperature chart here. This is a close-up of the islands. Right up here we see a little bit more detail right around the waters surrounding the islands. Here we have 27 and 28 degree variations right here. So this is all about 80 to 82 degrees right around here where this hurricane is starting to move in. And so we're seeing the weather controllers are actually hitting this storm. They're superheating this storm with a satellite transmitter, either microwave or laser, and we can see that action taking place. And believe me, you won't see this on the fake news mainstream media. This is actually space-based technology at work to break down that storm. Now, the people in charge of this are sick puppies, because this storm could have been knocked down yesterday, much like we saw with what was the last storm before this one here, which was Delilah. We were watching that. That storm fizzled out real quick because it was superheated. They quickly, the weather controllers quickly superheated that storm, and it didn't amount to anything. And the same could have happened with both this one here, Erick, and then Flossie, which is right behind Erick. Here in the Central Pacific water vapor map, we can see that this storm is actually starting to take a different trek. They're saying it's heading due west, but we'll just have to see what happens. This could take a turn. That's why the people on Hawaii better make sure that they've got their things together. They got some water and flashlights and some food and so forth to manage for a few days in case these sociopaths decide to steer this hurricane right over the islands. That could happen. And that is just exactly the piece of news that would upstage the coming news that is beginning to develop regarding the deep state's involvement in overthrowing the presidential election and framing the president. So we've got some damning news ready to break, according to Joe DiGenova, and a few other people. So we'll have to keep an eye. Watch for the false flags. Watch for the manufactured disasters, mass shootings, you name it. They might even resurrect Osama bin Laden. So here it is. We've got major hurricane, well, a former major hurricane moving right towards the islands. But they are superheating that. But the fact is that the power level they're using is not sufficient to completely wipe it out. They're slowly winding that storm down. Now, as we move through these maps, we have the western U.S. water vapor loop. We can still see that pinwheel of high pressure. All this monsoonal moisture is moving right into Arizona. We've got this pinwheel of monsoonal moisture. Of course, nothing is getting into California today. We did have clear skies today. I didn't see any trails. There was some haze down to the east, right down this way. But for the most part, we had slightly hazy skies, but I didn't see any trails. Now, the people in Orange County and out towards the east and Palm Springs and out Indio and out towards the river, you probably saw a lot of trails. Let us know what you saw. Okay, here's the infrared map. You see that same pattern. We've got high pressure stacked on top of low pressure. We've got high pressure out here as well, which is redirecting all this cooler, damp weather up to the north. You see that here better in the water vapor map. We have a counterclockwise rotating area of low pressure right here, right off the central California coast, which is beginning to swing in, but we've got high pressure installed right in this area, and we can see the effect of this high pressure. There's actually a bow in this water vapor pattern right about here, where the right there about where Nevada and California and Arizona come together. So we've got no rain in the forecast. Let's take a look at the here's one of the floater maps. This is the water vapor map showing some pretty good detail on Erick. We can really see right up here is where this storm is being targeted in this sequence of frames. We can see that right up here we see a pressure wave, rings, and this icicle pattern. Just take a look at that. And so this is one of the reasons why we never see satellite weather on the fake news, because this right here, this activity here proves that there is man-made weather manipulation going on, which has absolutely nothing to do with carbon dioxide. We're being told by the fake news media, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them, they're all peddling this fake news, phony carbon dioxide narrative, which has nothing to do with anything. It's a completely concocted, fraudulent argument, has no basis. They've got scientists, our government has scientists that are being essentially paid off. They're being bribed to toe the line. Here is this is the rainbow loop, the infrared map, and we can see that detail. Look at this pressure wave down here moving out. So the storm is targeted with either laser or microwave, and that superheats the water vapor in the atmosphere. That causes rapid expansion, and we see these pressure waves that move out radially, the blast patterns, and the whole works. So that's what's happening. That's why that storm is now diminished from a Category 4 down to I believe it's Cat 2 status now. So there it is. Just a short update. The people on the Big Island prepare for Erick. So you see that it's being targeted. However, this is a show. This storm could be completely wiped out within hours They're slowly winding it down, but people on the Hawaiian Islands, be prepared, because the deep state needs a cover story. They need some distraction, and they need it quick, because the hammer is going to fall. Everything's about to backfire on these people, and brothers and sisters, do they ever deserve it? Eventually we'll get to the bottom of who's pushing the buttons here and controlling the weather. That may take longer, but we'll eventually get to the bottom of it. I have confidence in that. Okay, so that's it for now. Oh, the last thing I want to say is two things. There's a video on YouTube. It's by a channel called Backroads West 1. That's all one word. The channel name is Backroads West 1. The name of the video is called Lone Pine Area, What to See. So Lone Pine is in California along the 395 up near, on your way to Mammoth Lakes and Mount Whitney. Anyway, the name of the video is Lone Pine Area, What to See. And if you go to that video and you queue up the video at around 6 minutes and 18 seconds, and watch up until about 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes and 25 seconds, you're going to see some very interesting examples, video of how the clouds and weather over that area are manipulated. We see the superheating process in that video. It's very, very excellent example. So see that, watch that video. In fact, watch the entire video, because there's some great scenery. If you're ever in California, you definitely want to see the 395, which goes up along the eastern, the mountains right along through California on your way up, towards Tahoe and all that. It's very, very great drive. You see a lot of volcanic rock and lava rock along the roads on your way. So check that video out, queue it up at about 6:18, and watch the sky there on the left-hand portion of the screen, and see how they target those cumulonimbus developments, those rising thunderheads, and how they kill those rainmakers off. Okay, the other thing also was in the caption. I mentioned that the FCC, there's a reason why these Doppler NEXRAD WSR 88D transmitters all have call signs, and that's because, like radio stations and TV stations, they transmit a lot of power, and so they have to, by law, have call signs, and that's why these Doppler radars all have call signs, because of their high output power capability. Okay, so that's the report for tonight, and we hope that these sociopaths steer this thing or completely destroy it before it hits the islands. Okay, that's it.